It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And this one features Trevor Lawrence. Everyone's still in awe of his last game, passing Norm Van Brocklin's 1951 mark of 554 passing yards. It's the Jags and the Colts, and it's coming right up on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. Two clubs here, each looking to rebound from a Week 1 loss as we're underway on EA Sports. Taken at the goal line. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Jacksonville's offense trots out here for the first time, and all eyes go right to number 16. Now in his second season as the team's face of the franchise, Trevor Lawrence.
And he certainly had his share of struggles in the opener, threw a couple of ill-timed interceptions in the game. So that was something that was harped upon all week in practice. He's going to help this team be a winning one. He can't give the football away like he did last week.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Lawrence. And incomplete on the deep ball.
But they certainly came out firing in this one, and while that one was incomplete, I can't imagine that'll be the last shot that they take in this game.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Lawrence. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down. On 3rd down, Lawrence. He'll get that underneath ETN. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
That's good for a Jaguars.
Here's the second-year man from Clemson, Travis Etienne. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. The Jaguars had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that, because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
That's complete to Travis Etienne out of the backfield. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago, there's another one right there.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Back to the ground with Etienne. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Lawrence now off the bootleg. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Christian Kirk, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jaguars get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it results in a touchdown for Jacksonville. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. As Indy's offense takes the field for the first time, we take a look at Matt Ryan. Top 10 all-time in passing yards, playing his first career season outside of Atlanta.
And he certainly had his share of struggles in the opener, threw a couple of ill-timed interceptions in the game. So that was something that was harped upon all week in practice. Because if he's going to help this team be a winning one, he can't give the football away like he did last week.
Getting set here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now Ryan. That's caught by his tight end, Jordan Akins. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Here's Ryan to throw. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down. They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for the first with Taylor. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. Nothing doing on that 9-yard gain on 1st. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. So time to see Jacksonville get on offense for the 2nd time here in this game. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And he'll push forward to the 37, gain of 2. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play. Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive. It comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the 1st down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations.
The pressure gets to Lawrence, and he'll go down. Quiddy Pay getting in there and burying him behind the line.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
After the sack on 1st down, Lawrence. He's got him in. Complete. Touchdown, Jaguars. Marvin Jones, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Jaguars lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ballgame. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his 2nd season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25. 2nd drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive. Powers through him. And he's got some space here. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a 1st. Here's Ryan. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far at 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw is Ryan. This pass caught. It's Woods. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That one covers 29 yards. First down. Up the middle. Here's Taylor. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7. Leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Here's Ryan. And this one is going to be off the mark. Too far out in front. He was looking to get it to Jonathan Taylor there. And it's 3rd and short. Charles, a look now at the Jaguars 2022 draft class. They were the 6th franchise to pick #1 overall in back-to-back drafts. And after getting the franchise face Trevor Lawrence a year ago, they're hoping that they found the face of their defense moving forward in Trayvon Walker.
I'm going to stick with defense and come back to Trayvon Walker because, remember, they added Devin Lloyd, the linebacker, late in the 1st round. And in the 3rd round, another linebacker in Chad Muma. But let's face it, this draft will be remembered for them taking Trayvon Walker, and they're looking forward to him producing as a big-time pass rusher.
And the Colts are going to be set up with a 1st and goal. He couldn't quite reach the chalk, but they'll have it at the 1-yard line. And they've got 3 tight ends here on 1st and goal to add some extra mass. Taylor. The ball is free. Taylor lost it. And the Jags grab it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
We can come up with a lot of different explanations here. None of them are going to work. At the 1-yard line,
you got to protect that thing like it's your firstborn.
Your firstborn, your secondborn, anyone. It doesn't matter. Take care of the football. You're in a position to go in and score. At worst, you've given up a chance to get 3 points.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Lawrence. His throw incomplete.
Oh, I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the 1st half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
And here's Rodgers on the return. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Andre Cisco there on the stop. He's already fumbled once in this game, and I thought the ball started to jostle there a little bit, but they got to him quickly at the line of scrimmage.
It sure did, and remember, if you're not a very confident runner and you've already dropped it once, if there's traffic around you, the only thing you think about is protecting the football.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Multiple players combined for their team's 1st sack of the game.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a 2nd one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
That sack backs Ryan the Colts up a bit here, facing a 3rd and long. They'll drop to throw. And he wisely will throw that one away.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and they will take over 1st and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Looking to throw, Lawrence. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. So problems with errant passing continuing. Remember, he threw 2 picks in the loss last week and now another here in this first quarter.
And sometimes, partner, this is the result of a quarterback who's simply trying to do too much. Feels like he's trying to make up for what he did last week, and you can't do it all on one throw.
And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
But now he appears to be in some pain. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On third down, here's Taylor. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. These two teams, division rivals, of course, and you remember back to Week 18 last year, although Colts fans don't want to remember back to Week 18 last year. The Colts needed a win. And the Jags, they were kind of looking ahead to 2022. But the 2-win Jags came up with one of the shockers of the season. They stunned the Colts 26-11 in Jacksonville. And that loss ultimately kept Indianapolis home for the playoffs. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now they'll throw it with Ryan. He'll drop this down to Taylor, and he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Ryan. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. He is proving his worth defensively. Getting the sack here, that comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
Chase McLaughlin now for the field goal try. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It'll be a 51-yard attempt. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. Well, that's always a risk on those longer kicks. You have to drive it low to get it there. That opened the door for a better chance for the defense to get a hand on it, and that's just what we saw there.
And even if the odds increase a little bit because it's a longer field goal attempt, it's still difficult to get hands on the football and create a block. Big-time excitement for that unit, getting through and knocking that one away.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. Touchdown, Jaguars! Marvin Jones, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Jaguars take the blocked field goal and convert it into 6 points. This offense certainly looking a lot more comfortable here at home. They lost last week in the opener on the road, but there's something about that home opener makes you feel more settled.
Yeah, I wish we could quantify it, too, because you're playing the same game. The field's the same, size. We know all of that. But being at home, sometimes when you do things well, you get that extra push from your home fans, and it elevates your game.
And in the driver's seat right now. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 5 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown. And he's got the hook up here. It's Woods. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
And I'd certainly expect them to use him quite a bit, because he runs excellent routes, has good hands, and knows how to get open.
21-0 our score after 1. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Colts in possession, as they've got it with a 2nd and 1 coming up. Ryan. And that one almost intercepted. But it's incomplete. He had space in front of him if he had held on, but instead it's 3rd down. Running straight ahead, Taylor. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Calling no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. To punt on 4th down, here's Rigoberto Sanchez. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Jaguars to take over on offense. They're coming off a loss to the Washington Commanders, but so far here on their way to rebounding nicely. They lead as they take the field for a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. Shifts by him. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be...
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. A great effort there. His first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Colts are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. The extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Sanchez now. He'll kick it away following the touchdown. Taken in at the 3. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Week 2 underway around the NFL. And a reminder that later tonight it'll be Chicago and Green Bay in the Packers home opener. The 101st season of that great rivalry. They had the 100th anniversary last year. And then tomorrow night a treat. Monday night doubleheader. Tennessee and Buffalo, 7:15 Eastern. And then Minnesota and Philly kicking off a little over an hour later. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 43 yards. And boy, CD, it's one thing to watch a great run, but when it's a great run with broken contact, it's like a cherry on top. That was a nice play.
Yeah, and this defense has had its share of problems getting guys to the ground. And here's another example. They never should have allowed this play to gain as many yards as it did, but poor tackling early in the play led to big yardage after the fact.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Lawrence. He targets Ingram for another grab. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
The end result, 21 yards. Throwing again here. It's Lawrence. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Julian Blackmon. And the Colts are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. So that now back-to-back drive, CD, that have ended with an interception.
I don't know about you, but I'd call my quarterback over, put an arm around him, and say, hey, take a look at the scoreboard. We're playing with a lead. Let's be smarter about what we're doing out there.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. A misconnection there, and he's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they throw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after the last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first two throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on third down to get their momentum going again.
On third down, Ryan. This one completes Alec Pierce. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on third down, and they keep the drive going.
Boy, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
He's got a man, complete. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25.
I would say just add that one to the total big plays he's already made here in the first month of the year. You've got to think the front office and the coaching staff have got to be excited about what they've seen so far and really excited about what they expect to see down the road.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 in second down. Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6. It's a jet sweep. This is Pittman. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a third and about 2.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
Third and 2. Now Ryan. And this will be swung out wide for Taylor. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Frank Reich not so sure about that last call. He's going to go ahead and throw out the challenge flag. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just...
So Frank Reich had it right as his guys win the challenge. On first and 10, it's Ryan. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And the Jags are going to have it here at their own 15.
Well, Brandon, as they say in popular culture, this one's going to leave a mark because they can see the end zone, but it'll stay out of reach because of their error. All their offensive teammates have to give the quarterback right now, offer a little bit of encouragement because what's done is done. Let's get them next time out.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that worked. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Things looking much rosier for them here in week 2. They work with the lead as they've got it first and 10. Straight ahead, ETN. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Looking at a second and 11 now after the loss. They go play action now. Lawrence completes it to Evan Ingram. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts 14. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him.
Touchdown! Zay Jones, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Jaguars have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. So after the disappointment in the opening week loss, Charles, this looks like really a completely different football team.
They sure do, and I think they realize we can't start 0-2, and they're determined to not let it happen by the looks of things here in the early going.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns and 20 run. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Colts offensive unit. This offense has been clicking pretty good here in the first half. They've got the lead. They're looking for more with the ball in the red zone. On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Lawrence. Sideline throw. It's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Lawrence will throw. Got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Marvin Jones on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Have a great starting field position and a couple of timeouts at their disposal. They'll certainly have the green light here. They'll start on the ground. Etienne. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Lawrence to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
And Ingram holds it in. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half.
That's good. We're on Jaguars.
Riley Patterson now on for the field goal. From the right hash, this from 48. Patterson's kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time. Nothing to lose now. This offense forced to go for it. Down a bunch here in the 4th quarter. Here we go. It's Ryan on 4th down. That's going to be complete to his tight end. Fourth quarter, and it's kind of getting to be desperation time here for this defensive side. They need to get the ball back to their offense. They have a chance to do that on 3rd down. On play action, Lawrence. It's caught inside the 25. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. This offense has been lighting the scoreboard up. Now the question, can they add to their lead? We drop you in a red zone situation in the 2nd half. Running out of the gun with Etienne. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 56 yards for him on the ground now on 18 carries.
I know we're in the era of wide open football, a lot of sprint formations, more space. But there's still a spot for power football. We just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle. And, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. Now Lawrence to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Christian